I've been working out for over 20 years, and after thousands of training sessions, I realized that getting jacked is actually pretty simple when you learn what to do. When I first started lifting, I thought you just went to the gym, got a good workout in, and somehow you'll wake up bigger the next day. And looking back now, it's kind of funny. I spent years doing the same things most beginners do. I would switch programs every few weeks, I would buy supplements that I didn't need, and I would spend more time watching fitness videos than actually training. And every time I saw someone with an incredible physique online, I thought they knew some secret that I didn't, or I just thought they were on steroids. The truth is, there isn't a secret. Most of the progress I've made came when I stopped chasing shortcuts and started focusing on the basics. And after 2 decades of lifting, here are the biggest lessons I've learned that I wish someone had told me when I first started. The first lesson is that you might have great genetics and never know it. One thing I've noticed as a coach and a gym owner now is that people are way too quick to blame their genetics. They think their genetics suck, so they don't bother training at all. I did that when I was younger. And being Asian, nobody in my family even lifted weights. If you asked them how much a barbell weighs, they would have no idea. But here's what I learned. The version of you that trains consistently will always beat the version of you that doesn't train at all. And the truth is, you may have way more potential than you think. So before you blame your genetics, earn the right to blame them. The second lesson is to stop program hopping. This is probably my biggest mistake. I would follow a workout for a few weeks, I get bored, not see results fast enough, and then I convince myself I needed something better. And I've done 5x5, German volume training, the Spartan 300 workout, and just about every popular routine that came along. Or worse, I would follow some fitness influencer that would show up with a new science-based workout, and I would try that too. The problem wasn't the programs, the problem was always me. Because you see, most decent programs still work. But the reason they don't work is because people fail to stick with anything long enough to see results. So pick a plan that makes sense, commit to it, and give it time. The third lesson is that you must apply progressive overload to your training. And in case you don't know what that is, it's basically making sure you lift a little bit more or add one more rep from your last workout. You see, if your lifts aren't improving, your physique probably isn't improving either. Building muscle is your body's response to a challenge. If you're asking it to do the exact same thing forever, there's no reason for it to change. Now, that doesn't mean you need to add weight every single workout, but over time, something should be improving. And the people who build the most impressive physiques aren't just working hard, they're gradually getting stronger year after year. The fourth lesson is that natural lifters need recovery. One of the biggest lies in fitness is that more is always better. More exercises, more volume, more days in the gym, more suffering. The reality is that muscle isn't built while you're training. It's built when you recover from training. And as a natural lifter, recovery matters. I found that most people would get better results training hard 3 days per week than training 6 or 7 days per week while feeling exhausted all the time. Train hard, recover hard, and get your sleep. The fifth lesson is to pick a cardio you actually enjoy. For years, I ran, even though I hated every second of it. I wasn't running because I enjoyed it. I was running because I thought that's what fit people were supposed to do. These days, I mostly just walk. I get in 10,000 steps, I listen to podcasts, think about ideas for videos, and I stay active without feeling like I'm torturing myself. And that's why it works. And you don't have to walk if you don't like it. You can go cycling, swimming, play sports, use a rower, or if you enjoy running yourself, then go running as well. Just pick something that you'll actually keep doing because the best cardio isn't the one that burns the most calories. It's the one that you'll still be doing 6 months from today. And make sure it doesn't interfere with your lifts in the gym. The sixth lesson is to work on your mobility. For years, I ignored this because I thought mobility was only for yoga instructors and people doing handstands on Instagram. I couldn't have been more wrong. Mobility is simply your ability to move through a full range of motion with control. Squatting deep, reaching overhead, moving the way your body was designed to move. A lot of people think they have bad form when they really just have poor mobility. And so they keep adding weight to the bar, little aches start showing up, and eventually something hurts. And here's the best part. You don't need a 1 hour long mobility routine. Just spend a few minutes working on the positions you struggle with, and your body will thank you later. The seventh lesson is to track your workouts. This one habit changed everything for me. Most people train based on how they feel. The problem is that feelings lie. Your logbook doesn't. If your overhead press went from 95 pounds to 135 pounds for reps, you've improved. If your pull-ups went from 5 reps to 15 reps, you've improved. And remember lesson number 3 about progressive overload? This is the best way to make sure you are applying that principle. So track your workouts because what gets measured gets improved. The 8th lesson is that strength and muscle size usually go hand in hand. I know some people don't like hearing that because they're looking for a shortcut, but if you're weak, small, and struggling to build muscle, getting stronger is often the answer. Now, I'm not saying you need to become a powerlifter, but stronger muscles are usually bigger muscles. Build your bench, build your rows, build your pull ups, build your squat. If you spend the next few years getting significantly stronger, chances are you'll look significantly better too. And finally, the most important lesson I've learned is to think long term. Most people treat fitness like a sprint. They want abs next month, they want to get jacked by summer, they want results immediately. But building an impressive physique is more like climbing a mountain. You don't spend the entire climb staring at the top. You focus on the next step, then the next one after that. Your workout today is a step. Your meals today are a step. Your sleep tonight is a step. By themselves, they don't seem like much, but stack those habits together for years and they become life-changing. That's why I always tell people to stop looking for the fastest way to get jacked. Instead, build a system you can follow for the rest of your life. Because getting in shape for summer is cool, and those are the lessons that I would give to my younger self if I could go back in time. So I hope that these lessons will help you as well and help you. So I hope that these lessons will help you get jacked a lot faster. So take these lessons, go apply them, and I guarantee that you will get jacked faster.